The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. Very rarely in primetime racing TV history do we ever have a first, but that is on the table here this evening. For the first time in our channel history, we take to the now former racetrack in Midland, North Carolina, the miniature Pocono, to make my pal Howie happy, the Concord Speedway. A half-mile, quite literal triangle here with varying banking, awkward turns, and a whole lot of bumps to boot. This surely should put a lot of these drivers in an interesting position. How will they fare in tonight's affair? Welcome everybody to PTR TV for today's race. We are here, as I said, at the Concord Speedway, the little mini triangle that could here for the Cultured Designs ARCA series. 150 laps here around this very awkward little circuit. Gonna be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth and in the truck, and my newfound partner here, because Brad he's now back home, although he is under the weather. Howie's back again at 2:30 a.m., 3 a.m., whatever it happens to be. Howie, you've been saying mini Pocono. I mean, how else do you describe this place? Oopsies. Apparently the lock UI button doesn't work here on ATVO anymore, but anyways, yes, they need the practice, and I really don't see a good opportunity to make a pass here, Howie, at this racetrack. I mean, you look at it, you can kind of get stuck. You can kind of get stuck side by side for quite some time. But then again, there's that kink in the back straightaway that, I mean, you just don't see that on a standard oval. So we'll see how this fares here. The end of qualifying, Walker, I haven't quite loaded his last name yet. McAnulty is our provisional pole sitter.
It's going to be
and Howie in producer failure, I did have you muted for that whole opening monologue you just had.
I've done it to others before, so let's start again from the top. Tough track. Drivers were warned a lot to practice it. We're going to have up to 30 ARCA cars around here instead of the 12 street stocks that usually run. I'm a little bit worried this could turn into its own form of carnage. But, well, you got to get out there and you got to brave it anyway, I think. Here comes the grid.
All right, Walker, McAnulty on the front row, along with Terry Brooks to his outside. And then you have Adam Bossy and Kyle Gresh. I don't recall seeing him in the ARCA series too often, but he's out here to play. Alan Kunman in fifth, Mark Herzog in sixth, Chad Widstead in seventh with Justin Baxter. He was the runner-up last season in eighth. Caleb Brown, he won on Sunday in very interesting fashion, if memory serves. Wait, did he? I don't even know. Brad Kress in 10th. Why am I trusting my memory, Howie? I should know better by now.
We're now going over the sort of acceptable cars you usually bring to this track in iRacing. No one really races past the rookies. Ben Harkham's in 11th, James Honeycutt in 12th. And Fabio Valcori in the 13th. Matt Harmon sits in 14th. I don't have the full grid, so I'm relying on the graphics today. Kyle Dean in 15th, next to Jason Benson. There's even more to go. Matthew Epting 17th, Mark Jarrell in 18th, and would you believe it, there's even two more, Dylan Freeman, Samson Lewis Jr.
We still have 8 more to play. We have Zach Armstrong, Cameron Kane, we have Zach Nerney, Ward Fisher, Casey Ellis, that's a name I haven't heard, Jack Plyler, Coop got dragged out forcibly by Al Coy to race here today, and Tyler Wayless. Wait, Coop got forced to race, and Al's not even here.
Yeah.
How did that work out?
Here. I did read Al.
Oh, you did. He's in 13th. We're clearly we're batting on all cylinders here today, Howie. We're batting on all cylinders. That has put that one on the. That was going to end up on the soundboard after this one.
How many turns until the first caution, people? I would guess that one in the chat. We're going to consider this a free-turn track, not whatever iRacing just said on that graphic. 5. Come on, get out of here. And at that point, it's going to be very much just go, go, go and hold on to your socks, I think. I don't know how hard this place really shreds up the tyres, but probably don't want to over-push him with only one set around here.
Yep, and then the fuel, I would imagine that they can go the full distance on fuel. It's not really going to make a big deal because we'll have enough caution laps, and I'm sure they'll want to put those Goodyears on at some point. I don't even know when the pace car pulls in here. Thought we were on 2 to green, 1 to green, but maybe we're getting a third pace lap here.
I need to correct you, by the way. It's General Tyre. It's all over the cars. Don't you know? Don't you know?
I only cover ARCA series every week. I think I would know what tire branding it is.
It's because, to be fair, Triple Bypass have covered up the General Tyre logo, so who are we to know, really, you know?
But we'll come through the kink here, not quite the tunnel turn, because the tunnel is in this chute here, if I do believe. But the pace car will pull on in. Walker McAnulty will come through the high-banked turn number 3 into 4 or 5, I guess, depends how you want to number this place. We'll discuss that during the show. But the green flag is in the air. We're racing at Concord on PTR TV. Oh, wall trip to the wall. Kyle Gresh hit the turn 2 wall. That's not going to be the last time that happens. Adam Bossy fills in the gap. And Howie, I believe never mind.
No. We made it 3 turns, maybe 2. It
Zach
depends on where you're
Armstrong,
looking.
I believe, because
prizes for everyone.
Zach Armstrong has instantly towed. Oh, he got nurneyed in the kink there. Why
is
he
it
towed?
Tow-worthy though?
No, the pits
is that
were
just like
the pits were right to his inside.
This place I'm done. Is that just like I hate it here?
Where he spun out in the chute, I guess, if you want to call it that. I don't know how to discern this speedway in terms of shape, but where he spun out, he instantly could have just did a loop-de-doo and either went back to the pits or turned around. But he'll now be multiple laps down, and well, I was literally in the middle of uttering, I think we're going to complete a whole lap, but if you did watch Sunday's broadcast, I think I set the record for commentator curses in one stream, so evidently we are carrying suit.
It was a pass for the lead on that first lap. Terry Brooks does make it ahead of Walker McAnulty, and that's going to matter on a track like this, I think.
Of course, Terry Brooks, our series, not even just the race sponsor, the series sponsor, sponsoring all, I believe it is 14 ARCA races. Cultured Designs, they are showcased out of Concord, North Carolina, doing a lot of woodwork and things of the sort. I believe there should be some information in the description if we did our jobs. If not, I'll add it later. But of course, we want to thank him for what he did. The point standings here in ARCA: Alan Kunman up by 4 over Bossy. You have Caleb Brown, Harcum, and Cam Kane. The top 5 all separated behind within 14 points. Kunman and Bossy, that's who we focused on last season. Bossy in 3rd, Kunman in 5th. They are always kind of within shooting range of each other.
The thing I've heard about this track, the hard turn is turn 3. 1 and 2 don't really catch you in the same order. You can sort of overspeed in the fast turn because you just sort of think, I can do it. This car's planted. It's not always. You can very much plow hard in this thing, especially around here. Easy to underestimate yourself, or overestimate yourself is the word, really.
That right front tire never gets a break. There we go in the restart box at Concord. We'll fire off. Huge hole shot goes to Terry Brooks, and then McAnulty will fall back in line. Our pole sitter, who I don't believe led a lap, coming through the chute and in through turn number 3. We have some side-by-side in the back. Will they all funnel through? We will complete a lap under green flag.
And it almost looks like there's space to run for multiple drivers. Probably not space to pass that bottom. It seems like it's going to be a little dominant when it comes to pace. But if you're running side by side, you probably could run that high without getting run into the wall. I was a little bit worried that this track will almost be too tight to survive on. But maybe these ARCA cars are smaller than I imagine. Bring the Cup Series here, you know?
Well, I mean, we'd be coming to a car part warehouse, as we said off air. Unfortunately, this place no longer exists, bought by Copart, excuse me, in I think 2000 and something or other. I had the Wikipedia up, but I've since closed it. In 2019, this place went under. But obviously good to have the iRacing version. I think this was scanned in the infancy of the simulator, hence you'll see some Nextel billboards. Nextel, I mean, what was that last A provider? About 2007, so there is that timestamp for you. But Winstead to the inside. You know, as I kind of told you off air, Howie, you can kind of get perpetually stuck side by side here. Unless you do that, Alan Cunman, that line, not advantageous. He'll finally give up the spot to the 97.
Getting throwbacks to the late model league we used to cover where, yeah, you can just get stuck on the top on short tracks like this, and if there's a car too close in behind you, you're just done. You know, you're just in trouble, and you just want to hope for something to happen. If there's more cautions, though, I mean, it does sort of potentially put a wrinkle in the strategy. To be fair, we have now made him on quite a few laps through this run. Don't know if I want to dip below that yellow line as we saw from the car behind that.
Yeah, maybe some tracks, you know, dipping on that apron there will help the car turn. I guess we don't really know how this setup is. We haven't heard too many bad things about how this car drives, but he is seeming to do it regularly, so that might be a good thing here in the chute. I'm not sure if you'd want to do that. And, you know, unlike the tunnel turn at, you know, Pocono, which is a turn you have to prepare for, let's go on board with Gresh. I mean, this little chute, it's not a chute. This is a full-fledged corner here in the backstretch.
Really is a little baby Pocono. I mean,
but it doesn't scale very well.
This is the real tricky triangle. It certainly had a different character. I remember one of my first ever iRacing oval races was a strung out Legends race in the old Legends car that actually had grip back when you could drive that thing. Just around this thing, and when you're in that little thing and it's one of your first races, this place feels gargantuan. I can promise you that. You're a small little child running around in that tiny thing. This place feels almost like a Talladega. Maybe not in links.
Yeah, this is more so the, what did they say about Bristol? Fighter jets in a cereal bowl. That's what they call Bristol. Maybe not the case here. Now this Samson Lewis, he is well off of the leader's pace, trying to get out of the way. And this won't be easy getting out of the way here because you can only get so far offline before you actually risk getting into the wall. So he's going to get high and out of the line here in turn 3 and hopefully stay out of it. Gresh will get almost sideswiped.
If you're getting lapped a million times here, this is going to be a really, really busy and tough day for you. You're just going to constantly be dealing with traffic, and I'm worried that at one point there might be an issue with that. We are getting the first wave done, but it's going to be non-stop very, very soon.
Yeah, at some point, as we're 14 seconds behind, is the last place car on the lead lap. That's Jack Plyler, and, well, you don't have to go too far to look in the rearview mirror. There is our race leader as we're turning about 16 and a half second laps around this here racetrack. First side-by-side battle, Dr. Pepper, baby, it's good and nice, doo-doo-doo. That is the new jingle that made Lord knows how much money off of TikTok. Al Corey, I said he wasn't here, but he clearly is here because he's making a pass underneath of ARCA.
And one more for the books. Every little bit counts and helps, I think, around here. And you're not going to count on the loader passing, but as you can see, it strings out already. And often a big thing on short track racing is just keep going until your opponent finally misses their entry, misses their apex, is up the track a little bit, and then it's your space for you right in behind.
Little wall tap off turn number 4, a puff of smoke that was in the realm of Kyle Dean and Bull Epting in that number 18 car. Matt Harmon, uncharacteristically low on the line up here, but maybe he can work himself through that. There's a wiggle from the 18. What can Harmon do to take advantage? Kind of see some different lines at play here. Some drivers using the later apex, trying to get a better shot off the corner. I think Harmon's trying to do that this time by. High entry, cut to the bottom, but still couldn't get the power down.
I think this is one of those races and one of those tracks where you just need to focus on yourself, just focus on your laps, just focus on surviving through them. if you get past once or twice, it kind of sucks, but like if you just make it through your long run, it's going to be way better than battling someone to the death. And I mean, Terry Brooks is 8 tenths ahead. He's fast around here. We've seen drivers that aren't up to pace. Talk about someone who really, really is. Getting a second ahead on a track this short is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the scaling at short tracks is much different. So if you're a second up at Charlotte, that's one thing. But if you're a second up on a short track, it may as well be 3 seconds at a, you know, on a mile and a half or something on those lines. But we'll see the traffic. No, we won't.
And the 007. I didn't want to say that it was a chance of being this while letting a car through. Let's take a look at it.
We'll have to get the old who came up, who came down situation here. This camera's not going to be... I think from that perspective, I would say 007 probably was not as high on the racetrack on exit as the 39 would have expected.
39 definitely washes up, but if you are letting cars through this much, you almost do need to take the wall, you know,
exit,
and you need to expect the work.
Yeah. From this camera, you could see, I think he would have expected the 007 to be higher. So, but at the same time, I mean, you can't force somebody to use a certain line. So, I mean, that's just one of those tough racing calls. I thought you were going to be here. You didn't have to be. You weren't, but that's why we wrecked. So, take a pick.
Well, it's a deal with overlapping, isn't it? That there's really no requirement to move out of the way. I think it just sort of depends on your situation and how your race is going. I mean, I don't know if you want to fight people to the death for it. He wasn't exactly fighting people to the death for it. But, you know, there's always a sort of disagreement between people that think, should you be miles out of the way versus can you just sort of run your line and expect others to work with you? That is a conflict.
Yeah, but luckily, I don't think there was too much collateral damage involved in that. So we will carry on, of course, here in ARCA with the one set of tires. I mean, I think we were roughly about 4 to 5 tenths off on pace. So the track position loss to pit, probably not the call to make at this juncture. But we'll see. I mean, maybe we'll make it to the end. I mean, I don't think so, but it's always possible. And of course, if you like what you see, like and subscribe here on PTR TV. We'll be live tomorrow night with the Elbows Out GTP multi-class race, I believe, at Watkins Glen. And then we'll be back at Bristol for the TBP Cup Series on Sunday. And then where are we at with ARCA next week? We are... Oof, we're racing on my birthday at Bristol next week. Is that a present or is that a curse? I don't quite know.
It's whatever you want to be. It's your birthday.
And I'll cry if I want to. And if it's anything like this Sunday, I very well may. But we'll worry about the future. In the future, we have 119 laps to go. Little arithmetic for you there. But a big jump by the 23. And Adam Bossi got a good jump on the bottom. He's going to try to get under McAnulty. Thought he'd be able to. But McAnulty with a bite off the top clears for second. And now Kyle Gresh to the outside. But he didn't get a good run. Now here comes Chad Winstead to try to fill in the gap.
People are pushing and pushing hard. I mean, I guess you want to do that near the front because if you don't get near Terry Brooks or run away, it almost looks like 3 wides worth. I've been told pit exit is pretty terrifying here. You need to give people a whole lot of space, but it actually kind of looks like LA traffic through the middle of this field right now. People finally starting to get single file out, but wow, they are battling more than I thought they would.
Now Corey trying to work his way up, but this is the gaggle right here. That is Kunman to the inside. Really, I think he cooked it in way too hard underneath Herzog. Had to really bog it down there, and that allowed Herzog to get by and also allows Caleb Brown to get by. And again, being on that outside through that kink, through that sweeper, I don't know what you want to call it. I feel like that is way more difficult than we may be giving it credit for. But again, here's that kind of that perpetual side-by-side, Howie. Enough bite on the outside, but of course the shorter distance usually perseveres, but maybe not in this case, because here comes a 76, a Honeycutt to the outside.
Do you want to make it free? Are you wild enough? Well, those cars behind would consider threatening for that. Now to the inside, almost contact, not quite made. This is just when it's tough, because what are the ways you can really get past someone? Take the gap if they open it up, but then you sort of have to bomb the corner to get to them, because the stopping, you're not even doing much stopping and slowing into the turns here. It's tough to really work this out at all.
Now let's just got to get a Whiplash SimCam telemetry of our race leader. We maxing out at, 108 miles an hour, down about 25 miles an hour through turns 1 and 2. I guess we'll call it turn 3. We'll get to, at the end of the shoot, about 115 we blipped at, down to about 80. So all in all, only about a 30 mile an hour variance in speed, a delta throughout the entire lap. You know, as you say, on a short track, that's not much. I know Martinsville, for example, you're slowing down about 70 miles an hour there.
Yeah, so like, how do you really dive bomb someone without completely losing control yourself? It's going to be tough to really work that out. The laps are going to fly by here, whether they're yellow or whether they're green. But already on 41, we got, you know, nearly 15, 16 second laps around this track. So time will probably fly for these drivers, even if they're getting used to I'm not making a joke about turning left in NASCAR, but like, out of all the tracks where you do a lot of turning, I say this one, you're more left than anywhere else. You know, you almost don't get a straight to breathe.
Yeah, quite literally, the front stretch is maybe let's just do a Mississippi count. I guess that's, of course, the most accurate stopwatch method of all. Right about here, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, that's it. 2.5.
You're already starting to break and turn in by near the end of that. You're already trying to get the nose pointed to make the turn. So you're in trouble.
So maybe 1 Mississippi's worth of time, which is actually just going straight with really no concern, as the 007 again getting out of the way, already 4 laps down. Kyle Dean in the 39. Remember, he had that opening spin, I think, off of the 36, but not sure why he parked it once, as you said. Maybe just the fun ran out. I mean, don't quite know. Maybe some, home life situation came into play. But McAnulty, remember, he got the pole in this race. Walker McAnulty. See him loading this. As an IT guy, it's into my cache now. I think it's loading pretty quickly. I don't think he led a lap. Remember, the caution came out lap 1. So as the pole sitter, one of those weird anomalies where you may not lead a lap even though you started first.
Get beat off the start here by a driver that's clearly a lot faster, and what are you going to do? Maybe Terry just didn't have the qualifying lap of his life, because clearly there's some one person that has absolutely got this field dominated in every way. I think a horrible thing could happen to him this race. Don't curse it! A horrible thing could happen to him this race, but that's about the only thing I think that would cost him a win, really, at the pace he's going. I don't think over any long walk has got anything.
Now we'll see. I mean, still a lot of time to be had. Here comes Zach Nerney underneath the 18. 18 now. You talked about 3 wide. Let's have at it briefly. Cameron Kane and Harcum, I think senses came to play there and allowed that to go down to a more normal 2 wide situation here at Concord, where this race is going a lot more swimmingly than I think we had anticipated in the pre-race. So I do got to give it up to these drivers. Of course, like I said, Bristol next week. We will be off the week of the 10th. And Howie, I know you're not going to be with me, barring extreme circumstances. But 2 weeks from now, we're taking these ARCA cars to the 3 weeks from now, we're going to Lime Rock Park for the first of 2 road courses here on the ARCA schedule. So these drivers really put to the test this season.
It's the non-chicane layout as well. It's a fast and furious one.
So
want to go up that hill at max speed?
Airtime, yes. So getting a 30. I mean, of course, they ran there in the real world. This 2025, the Craftsman trucks in ARCA did take to the Lime Rock Park. So that is a realistic combination that is being run. And I didn't get to watch either of those races live, but I would wonder, because that track is as narrow as a piece of fettuccine. So I don't know how these huge cars raced there, but I guess we'll find out virtually in 2 weeks' time. But here comes Adam Bossy underneath McAnulty. That's for second, all of 1.5 seconds behind our leader, as Dylan Freeman going 1 lap in arrears. I thought he wasn't racing today, but he has taken Averill to the raceway and not having too much luck there in that 31.
Yeah, I talked down the battle for first, but second was still definitely quite on. The two were up with each other, but obviously we don't know whether it was Bossy just not being able to pass because, you know, it's hard to pass, or whether these two are very, very, very close on pace. I mean, now Carl Gresh is going to threaten as well. Chad Winstead is right behind too. I mean, if McAnulty's falling off, we're going to find out now very, very, very soon.
I can see Gresh running that outer lane, and of course there's two different things. Of course there is just the natural late apex line where he's going to dive it on in there. If McAnulty's going to get a little scared, perhaps wash up the track. But we do have to, you know, acknowledge how with the dynamic track system, where at a short track like this, where so many drivers running so many laps, it does have the ability to heat up and kind of alter what could be the preferred groove.
Yeah, McAnulty not totally hitting the bottom on every turn, and it's hard to do it every single lap around there, and if you leave even an inch, someone will try and take that from you. Surprised Kyle couldn't finish the job, but that was a statement of intent. It was a statement of, you are going to leave a gap, I will put my car in that car-shaped gap.
Oh, 27, really high. I mean, I thought that was the late apex. No, that was allowing Chad Winstead in the 97 to put that, what is that? I try to get sponsors in there when I get the Quad Lock Mustang, getting him to the inside. I refuse to say the name of Kyle Gresh's car, but that is his YouTube handle. If you can read it, go check out his YouTube handle.
He
is a streamer.
Isn't it? That's just Napa. That's just Napa, yes. And there's nothing else in there. You know?
Yeah, the picture on his overlay package means absolutely nothing to that. It's just a Napa car, of course. But now, here comes Brooks through a little bit of traffic in the form of Benson there. And that's Sampson going another lap down, but gap now 2.5 seconds as here comes McAnulty back by Bossy as they navigate Sampson and Dillon.
These two are close. It is a real battle. Do love to see it. Was wondering whether or not they would really be ready to battle it out, but I mean, a second and a half just got made up while we were looking away, by the way. So talk about a driver continuing to run, making the best of it.
Saw some contact quickly back of the shot there. That 0707 is really struggling to get out of the way here. You saw some contact, almost kind of hooked there. The number, I believe that was the 57 of Mark Herzog. So again, some of these tracks, it's just, there's no wiggle room here. There's no alternate lane that's well out of the way. You can't just run the high lane 40 feet up like you can at Kansas. You're just in the way no matter what you do here.
I believe Ward Fisher, by the way, parked due to having some FPS problems. For some reason, Cooper was reporting them as well. On this track, for some reason, we do seem to be having some lag for some drivers around here, which is certainly unusual for a track this old.
Now this track did undergo, it bothers me, my autism, that I don't know the year of it, because I remember random facts as Kunman and Honeycutt having a little battle here. This track did undergo a textures update, maybe 2018-ish. Of course, when this track came out, 2007, you can go look up some videos on YouTube. It looked to PlayStation 2 in all senses of the word, but they did update the textures, so it looks slightly more palatable. But yeah, it would be a surprise having frame rate issues with the level of trackside detail here, but I'll take it. It looks better than a couple tracks still on the service.
And then meanwhile, take us to Mexico City and watch your frame rate disappear. It's like a magic trick. It's like a magic trick. Although, I got to tell you, like, one day, these guys better get to that oval. It's a freaky oval. Like, turn one is just not even radius. It's crazy. Oh, that's a slide up the hill by the 18. That's the sort of thing that's going to kill tires.
I mean, the Mexico Oval, which I do believe is actually run by the Mexico Series, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, these ARCA cars on the official side of iRacing, I'm not sure if they did or they will, but they are actually taking to the Hairpin Oval at Sonoma. It may have been past tense, it may be future, but I don't know. But I know it's meant to, if not have already existed. Of course, iRacing on their new update, releasing the Sonoma Oval, which just, I think that's about 0.15 miles, Howie, if memory serves. And they are, imagine ARCA cars around that place. Oh my goodness, terrible. 007 again, nearly right reared into the 27 to Gresh off of 4.
That is a little bit terrifying. You sort of have me scared now. You know, good luck, everybody. I do know I did see on the schedule.
Terry Brooks!
What did I say? No! Horrible things happening to people. He gets away with that without damage. That must have been a hardware failure.
He's still, I mean, he's well off the pace. I mean, his car magically repaired itself.
That suspension has been shocked.
Get one more look at that.
On board, like... I wonder if we can see what happens to his wheel.
That must have been a hardware failure.
Does he just miss the turn? Do you have, like, gyro or something? We might be able to see his wheel. Oh, he does try and make the turn. It just plows.
Yeah, maybe his pedals had some kind of massive issue there, but that is a absolute game changer in every sense of the word. And unfortunately for him,
I'm so sorry.
He didn't throw out a caution flag. So he can get a fast repair, but he's going to be 2, 3, 4 laps down, however it shakes out to be. And now we go from having no battle to a pretty decent battle. McAnulty and Bossy are of pretty similar stature, pretty similar pace here, as we have crossed flags already surpassed it. We are on the second half of this race. 20 minutes left if this goes green.
Maybe we should stop talking because commentators' curses are going to strike. Because I said something awful would have to happen to him, and then something truly gross happens to him.
At least it was on you this time. At least it was on you.
Like we've scared it over the week, you know? So I like that.
I think our contract may be voided after the end of this season if this keeps up, but is as it may be. I mean, he's back on track. The blessing for him, he's only 2 laps down. He does have fresh tires, so here is, I guess, the only, if you want to say, saving grace to this, Howie's. We don't know definitively, as far as I'm aware. We weren't given any preludes to anything to do with fuel load. We've only had, what, 2 cautions, 2, 3 cautions? Maybe that saves you 6, 7 laps. I don't know if you can go 150 laps around this place. Maybe even with 3 cautions. It could be a stretch. Maybe it's doable. I don't know.
Do we want to test this theory?
Because that would be a saving grace. Because right now, Terry Brooks, let's just, let's pull up lap times. McAnulty,
given his pace,
17 flat, 17 flat, 6. So he's running a half-second a lap faster. So what if he's running a half-second faster and he doesn't have to pit when everybody else does? Do we have some dramatic wreck and win going on here? I mean,
hear me out. Given his pace, he's just made it a fair fight. He's just found, I'm making this fair. I'll find my way back. That's the challenge.
It's a matter of how quickly he can get through this traffic. You saw him get through Nerney. Now he's working through Al Corey and Cudman, and everybody else is really starting to get slideways, which, I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It's a good thing in the sense of it'll help him gain time. It's a bad thing in the sense of it makes us more likely to have a yellow.
How hot's the track today? I'm curious as to whether this is actually like a bad track condition today.
It's
I'm
toasty.
going to Google it. I mean,
122 degrees. That is toasty.
I'm working on it. I'm British. That's toasty on the track. Oh, that's toasty.
It's so toasty, it makes you want to open a can of beans, doesn't it, Howie?
Unfortunately, I'm the only British person that doesn't like beans or tea.
Okay.
So,
I tried. I actually had I had an accurate reference there, but there is some slideways right there. That was the 83. Bossy, very loose, and that is the Gulf car to the outside. That's Plyler. He is struggling. He's just trying to get out of the way, and I don't know if the marbles are forming. I haven't seen them, but again, I imagine if they are forming, getting that high out of the way surely is going to put you in them.
It's so surprising to me that getting loose is actually what's happening here. I would have thought maybe the right front would get abused, but actually,
Gresh pitting.
I think we do need that stop.
So
watch the exit here, by the way. Drivers have been warned that the exit is tough to see.
It's a very narrow pit road. Even in the travel lane here in the pits is only about 1.5 car widths wide. So it's a good thing that this is under green. I guess if you want to say there's a good thing, but there's the front cam there. And again, with these drivers cutting the turn 1 apron a little bit, as you said, it can easily be a blend point where you just get doored by somebody taking the corner very shallow.
Yeah, someone just can come right out of there. This is one of the spots where all the new iRacing drivers don't understand why they're getting black flags for unsafe pit exit on their qualifying runs, by the way. That's one of them. They don't understand that you have to go the whole way around. Oh,
let's stay on board with Gresh, because I actually don't think I've paid attention to this either. Let's look for that blue cone. And, there's no blue cone there.
I do think you have to go around. If I'm wrong, like, sue me. And I mean sue me. Do it for real. Just courtroom, we'll get it going.
I am not going through international litigation, so I think you'll be okay with that. But let's just look one more time. Maybe it's on the concrete wall. No, I don't see it. And it wouldn't surprise me that they wouldn't go back to this track and retroactively add the rules to it. It doesn't really have that demand. But anyways, let's see where Gresh and Brooks have played out. Actually, Terry Brooks and Gresh both 2 laps down. And let's pull up this graphic, which should give us the number. He's 4 seconds behind Gresh, because that is the next position.
It's simply a fair fight now. Now he's just going to make it all back under green. I'm counting on it.
Does he have? Now, I will say, he's 4 seconds back. The gap is quickly going down, but Gresh is trying to get by Bossy. And of course, when you do pass the leaders, you are, as much of a rush as you're in, you are trying to not wreck them more so than even anybody else. So being a little more cordial here, but this is critical. This would put him 1 lap down as Plyler in the pits. 1 lap down.
Maybe I'm traumatized from Sunday, but it's just going to be a really, really short day. We're approaching the last third, and, it feels like it's been no time here at all.
Yeah, right now on our stream length, we're only at 42 minutes with about 15 minutes of racing. So that we could be in and out of this show in about an hour and 15 minutes. So
I get to sleep.
Yeah. And there is no prorated refunds before anybody asks. But Caleb Brown.
Okay. They made sure we were going to be here for a little bit longer. That's good. I respect it.
Just as I say no refunds, we have a wrap to make it take longer. 43 of Plyler. It appears like he almost missed the pits, and then struggling. So he exited the pits. He's on the apron. I don't know if he had a penalty and he had to come back in, or he was just trying to get out of the way.
How does he? I don't really know how he did that.
Going too slowly, and when he hit the gas, their tires were too cold and it wouldn't bite. That's all I got. But that, of course, in the middle of pit cycles, Epting should be the free pass that will leave Gresh and Brooks off the lead lap, but they should get it back via the wave around, which is the good thing. The bad thing is they're going to have about 30 less laps, well, 20 to 30 more laps on their tires as McAnulty and Bossy exit their pit cycles here.
Needs a bit of a shuffle-foot of field. You see how many cars just trying to pile out of that thing. So I'm not taking this. I need to do the maths on what's going on here, because obviously it's a very busy field that have all moved at once. But are there any drivers that aren't taking this? I don't think there's any that aren't trying to get waved around.
Herzog.
Yeah.
Now Terry Brooks and who is that other car? Top of the shot. That is Jarrell there, or Jarrell, pardon me. Jarrell and Brooks are ahead of Herzog. So even though Herzog didn't pit for one reason or another, they are ahead of him. So they are still going to get their wave. And where is Gresh? Gresh not getting the wave? Is that what's...
I think he was lead lap.
Wait a second. Like or is Brooks... Oh, pardon me. So Brooks, he was 2 laps down. And he was scored 1 lap down. He was already getting the lap back that he should have had. So he is still 1 lap down, as is Gresh. Gresh in position for the free pass. But Herzog, 102 lap tires, the lead lap car. Oh, for some reason I thought we were going that time by.
We do seem to have a few more caution laps than normal around it. I guess they're just so short that you do have to. Nobody's ever raced this with cautions on iRacing, ever. Like, who has touched this outside of the rookie series, you know?
You're not wrong. I mean, I'd have to, maybe the SK modified schedule has run here a few times, but again, this is not a scheduled track that gets too much love. But Herzog on ancient tires, he did not pit. Not sure the reasoning behind it, but he has a plan. He has a cunning plan. Will it come to fruition? Can he get on the loud pedal with no issues? Well, he gets up on the loud pedal. Now he has to prepare for the turn. McAnulty making like two trailer park girls. He's trying to go around the outside, and he will. For now.
This is interesting. He will get clear on an exit. The gap is very, very big here, but how many could Herzog hold on to? If he could gain positions through this, then it's worth it. But it's a gamble, and I don't know if he's practiced a run like this or whether he's just winging it.
I mean, I guess you have to wonder what is the reward behind this. I suppose would be fresh tires later in the race, but you'd be having to pass through the entire field to where would you actually see the net gain from that decision? I'm not quite sure. Bothy went deep into that corner, super loose. Al Corey down on the bottom, 3 wide. I think he drove low to reaction to that move. And 3 wide, Harcum and Kress. There comes Zach Nerney. Remember, he was in that lap 2 incident, and he is trying to knock on the door of the top 10. In fact, he's in the top 10.
Zach Nerney, our biggest gain of this race, 13 places from a bad spot. He's proven that you certainly can make it up. Terry Brooks, our biggest dropper, obviously. I mean, sad days, sad days.
This shows you can't, nothing is complete. Oh my goodness. They are just going ham, I think, as the young whippersnappers say, here in the back of the pack. I saw they were 3 wide for a brief moment. They've since fizzled out from that, quite luckily. And so just as I say that, I think Nerney blew the corner there, and they looked at 3 wide again for a brief moment.
Huge gap ahead that's just been formed from all this battling. Maybe these are just slower cars. I mean, Al Corey's had a good race as well. He's moved up several places in order to get here, and now he's sort of sitting at the tail end of this group. Not that you're really going to gain much from running near a group. We're not quite running a super speedway, but I'm surprised at how well this field has kept it together this race, really. There's been a few incidents, as I was about to say, as we cut to an incident. But I'm not crying about it yet.
All right, 35, Casey Ellis. Oh, Bull, that's Matthew Epting. We'll have to get the best top-down perspective I can. My camera pack and top-down perspectives isn't...
Do they make custom packs for this? That's great.
Whiplash does, but there's one thing Whiplash, there's no top-down perspectives. They're all kind of angled, so it makes it a little hard. But yeah, Bull got loose, turned down, really not much dissection has to get done over that. Now, what is Herzog going to do? Herzog, this is where I'm confuzzled.
Okay. Yeah, this ain't working.
So he's going to lose. Not buying it. He's going to lose 17, 18 spots, net overall, but he'll have maybe 7 lap fresher tires.
I can hang this out. Maybe he thought I can hang this out, and now he has realized I can't hang this out. That's just what I think. Maybe he thought like I can do the whole race like this, and only after that run was he like, oh, I'm slow. And I've done my race, but I tried to.
Yeah, I mean, if you know you can't win the race on speed, try to win it on strategy. But when you're put in the position where you kind of have to find the speed, I mean, you're in a spot really that you can't win either way. But that was Gresh getting back on the lead lap. Jarrell is maybe going to be... No, he shouldn't, because he's exiting the pits. I think the pits were closed. This may be one of those weird scenarios, Howie, that nobody ever talks about on the sim, where technically, if you are pitting and you're exiting the pits, and there's cars currently live passing you while you're exiting the pits technically close, and you're supposed to stop.
The pit exit closes, and you get a penalty if you exit. And I think you get at least an end of line.
Yeah, it's not something that's talked about on NR 2003. We actually had a lollipop ban for that. Now you just have to read the pit box in the simulator UI, which I don't think anybody does. So I would question if there was actually any penalties there, but anywho.
I mean, I'm only ever running into that situation when I'm repairing damage at Daytona, and I'm happy to be at the back, so I don't really care, you know.
Yeah, but here I think they were trying to get up. We'll see what happens, but either way, we are at 35 laps to go. Coming to 34, McAnulty on the throttle will accelerate. Chad Winstead, who has just methodically worked through the field, got a good jump. He sent it full bananas on the outside, trying to remain side by side. Not able to do so, and now Caleb Brown to the inside for third. Adam Bossy and James Honeycutt, another one who has worked through the field, and never mind.
Is this one going to be bad? Everyone doing a good job of getting around it. For once, we don't have the ARCA brakes in the ARCA series. That is unfortunate to get sent to the back, though.
But I did commentator's curse. I said coming through the field with the 76. I don't even think I finished the statement there. He just washed up the track into the 83, who was unfortunately an innocent bystander in that situation. But McAnulty, the leader, and I am really surprised there, Howard. The 97 really got good bite on the outside. Really surprised he wasn't able to hang it out there and maintain the spot, but makes you wonder if he'll be able to do it this time.
The more of these battles we're getting into, like, this is gonna be, it's always stressful on the leader to just have to mass restart. It really, really wears you down quite a bit. And on a short track as well. I mean, I actually did quite a lot of the short track series when they first came out, like the long run short track series that came out in iRacing. I ended up sort of fizzling out because I had other obligations, but I did a lot of the late models and the modified and the long races. And sometimes it does go green, and but sometimes you're near the front and you're having to nail like 5, 6 restarts in a row. I had to do it once leading a modified Hickory, and it's just, you have to get it right every single time, and it breaks you eventually. It breaks you.
It's not easy. I did do a little recon because my memory doesn't go back 3 days to Sunday. It was not Caleb Brown who won Sunday's Cup race. It was actually the 37 of Cameron Cade who ran that crazy wall line at Miami Speedway. We did have somebody in chat. I don't know. I see the YouTube name Metal Hellraiser 094. I don't know who that actually is. But anyways, they're asking us for a caution count. Howie, let's do a quick guessing game.
Gotta be 4. It's gotta be 4.
I'm not just trying to price us right you and one up, but I think it's actually 5. Survey says...
I think if I'm wrong, it's 3.
Hey-oh.
Oh. I guess the courses are so quick, you sort of discount
Yeah,
something.
they're not painful here, which is fine to me. Caution lap 37 seconds. So that's still...
It's nothing like a Daytona course.
That's still
nothing
shorter
like
than a green flag lap at Pocono. So it's not too painful at all. As we must... so we are on 1 to green. Our ticker does not denote that, but that might be because we extended the caution and yada, yada, yada. But anyways... Now we are in the waning stages, sub 30 laps to go. McAnulty in the restart box to the inside. Green flag in the air. What can Winstead do? Can he send it around the outside? He's sure going to try. And this time he may succeed.
Good move there, getting it done. And the one time you really need to get it done around it. I know it's Al Corey sneaking his way up the field, by the way. That's a few places he's made it up without us looking. I recognise that car from anywhere. Quite a few drivers getting a good day now that we're going into this sort of late race scramble. We might have 1 or 2 more cautions just because of how people race it late.
Now Terry Brooks did get on the lead lap finally after again his mistake, but he is on the lead lap, and he does have the oldest tires of anybody in the field by about 20 laps. But you know, he does have the pace. Maybe that'll even out, but he's well in the field. No chance to win this race. But someone who does have a chance to win this race is Chad Winstead, doing a fabulous job there. Starting to get a little bit sideways in that 97. Started 7th up to 2nd. McAnulty, remember, he was the pole sitter. He completely butchered turn 3, 4, 5, whatever you want to number it there. And that allowed Winstead to close in again. Let's go on board here with the battle tracker. 0.2 of a second up to 3. Here comes Winstead trying to do that late apex line, but not really amounting to anything.
At this point, just stay close and hope for a mistake. I wouldn't try and force something that doesn't exist, but if that driver in front misses an apex just once, you want to be close enough to make the move, or he's going to miss the turn. Or is that the car behind just bombing it too hard? Because, oh, that's a hard shot into the wall.
Yeah, that was... Holy toothpaste there. That was a send by Alan Kunman, and he could not woe it up. I don't know where that move was going. It's a question for the ages, but the wall kept us green flag there. He's now stuck to the outside. There's Herzog. We were just, roasting him into oblivion, but he's got himself more or less where he was the whole time. But he does have the benefit of slightly fresher tires right now as he gets by Justin Baxter. Remember that absolutely classic, legendary curse on Sunday with him.
He has had multiple restarts, and that first lap is the best way to get past people if you know you're faster than others. And he could be a dark horse to get a much better place than even this if he's able to sneak his car right under. There he goes, forcing the other car up a lane just a little bit. One of the only Toyota drivers I've noticed in the lobby, by the way. Represent. Look, I love that very, very, very high cam. As that top line, it's not looking like it's got a lot of grip, but that's a good exit.
Yeah, he got a big wiggle there by Herzog. Even those fresh tires, maybe he's already taken the good out of those general tires. Here's Gresh. Remember, he got stuck a lap down. He drew first legitimate blood on the pit stop cycle of the leaders, and of course caution ruined that for him, trying to work up at least to get into the top 10 here as we are now sub 20 laps to go. Underneath that is Ben Harcum. But as we go up to the front, Winstead has seemed to have lost the air in the balloon here. Now right to the back bumper has now turned into a second, and if anything, he may have to deal with Caleb Brown before this race hits the final laps.
And those laps are running out very, very, very fast. You can look away for a second, and they're gone. 16 to go. That is as many as we have seconds around this track. So don't go anywhere, because some of these drivers are having some great battles still side by side. Still wobbly on the bottom for the 23. We know it's fast. He's just making the best of a bad, bad day, I think.
And there he goes with a save, and somehow he turned that into a pass still. Complete Tokyo drift. Again, he's trying to make 25 lap older tires as good as the rest of these drivers. Probably, if you've ever played a golf game and you're trying to get that 103% swing, but if it doesn't work, you just completely, get it into the woods. That's, I think, what he's doing every lap, driving 102%. Some laps it works, a lot of laps it doesn't.
It's tough to make up places now, and it's obviously a track that punishes you just so much for one little slip up, just to go one little step too far, and you're basically sent back into what the youth call the shallow realm. So you just used up your tires, you've burned them up hot. We know it's toasty. Here comes Herzog again, by the way. He's under, but he didn't get it done last time. Had a bit of a wiggle on the bottom. He might have the pace to do it this time. That's nice and clean.
Drives it to the inside. Baxter will retort the spot there, and just behind that, Matt Harmon, who usually, I race with him a lot. When I used to race some of these ARCA races last season when we were off air, racing the Xfinity Series. Have a lot of good battles with Harmon, and surprising to see him really be a complete non-factor in this race. But, as we've alluded to multiple times, there's just not a lot of laps, not a lot of experience for a lot of these drivers here. Like myself as an old-timer, if I was to race this, I'd be as out to lunch as everybody else, because I haven't run this place regularly since 2010.
It's the old rookie nostalgia, Everybody sort of remembers a time they rode it.
I don't recall this place being on rookie schedules back. I think this was actually a paid track that I didn't choose to buy when the game first came out. So I just didn't run it. I skipped it.
Well, if you were here when iRacing came out, then you're a certified old man. So
absolutely, I was here. I was on iRacing before caution flags were programmed into the game, to the sim.
Old.
Daytona was $20. All the big tracks were $25. Small tracks were $20, and it was $156 a year. So all you people that say it's expensive, stop complaining because it was way worse back when I was here. But that's a podcast topic, which we'll probably never do, even though we joke about it all the time. But McAnulty up by 1 second, and he's had a couple wins slide through the cracks here in the various series. I know he blames me loosely for his race at Homestead on Sunday, but a lot of people do. But thus far, 5 laps to go. That's a minute and a half. Just run some solid laps, and you're on your way, as I believe James Honeycutt has received a black flag, perhaps for the incident cap.
It does come at you, even though it is raised for the short tracks based on the default. That incident cap kill still can sneak up on you. And Walker McAnulty, well, a name that I'm happy we've both worked out very well today, has made his second, only 4 laps to go. I won't say anything about what could happen, but I'll say he has proven pace where our leader faltered.
Yes, he has taken. Sometimes you got to be, as we always say, you got to be good, you got to be lucky. If you can mesh the two together, that is the ideal scenario. As there's Honeycutt there in the pits here. 2 laps to go, and it can never be that easy.
No, it can't.
I have a vibe.
It's not that car.
I have a vibe, and I have a confirmed vibe.
Can't be. Oh, it is. These cars are surprisingly loose here. I'm shocked at how loose they've gotten, to be honest.
And I don't see any marbles, which I am assuming it's not because of my graphics settings, because I don't change them, but there's no marbles here, so that wouldn't be any of the reasoning here. But just getting out of line as a whole, and again, there's a lot of bumps here too, so it's almost off camber at certain parts, so not a surprise to see a car get a little sideways.
I'm used to the ARCA cars being plow boxes. I've not driven them since they launched. I know they're not only are their setups better, but I don't know if they still use custom sets for this series. They do, and they are quite good custom sets for these cars. So they do loosen the things up. They do add a lot of the racing we see.
Yeah, this ARCA car, I've driven it a few times, and it kind of has the Gen 6 vibe, just a little bit different, less power overall. I would imagine there's a slight different construction to the general tires that just adds a little bit different flair to it as opposed to Goodyear's. Not sure how iRacing models that, but there has to be some kind of compound difference there that just makes it feel a little bit off. But this will put us into overtime here, lap 151 on the board, so we'll probably have 154 laps here in the Cultured Designs, I guess 150 asterisk, of course, the Cultured Designs car. Terry Brooks, who led, I don't know, I'm going to say 74 laps. I don't know, it's a random guess. I was close. 72 laps, self-spin or hardware failure into the wall. Race just never recovered, but we are 1 to green, Howie. Let's get this finished.
If this win gets lost here, it'll be heartbreak, but this is where it happens, and this is where people are going to push very, very hard for it if they're second.
We'll come off turn 4 here into the restart box. There is the jump from the 113. Winstead, will he drive it on the outside and try to pull door to door? He's going to try, but he's going to fail. Coming through the kink. Will we make it to the white, Howie?
Oh, look at the 2 from behind there. The 17 and the 45 felt like they almost just sent it. I mean, Al Corey's made it up to 4th in all that. I've been talking to you about him slowly climbing. There's our white flag.
McAnulty will come through the kink for the final time with enough of a lead. Al Corey try to get on the podium, but it'll be 1 short. McAnulty takes advantage of what is presented and wins here at the Mini Pocono. McAnulty gets it here at Concord. We got Winstead and Brown and Al Corey pulling off another top 5 run.
Positive results from those who were able to climb. More passing, more racing than I expected. Fewer cautions than I was expecting. Look, I think we have had a great day, actually.
Yeah, our final Whiplash SimCam race recap count, only 6 for 25 laps, so not a bad run here whatsoever, as McAnulty will get the win. He's going to try to damage the car to make it past tech. That's how you know that thing was tweaked out here at the Triple Bypass Cultured Designs ARCA series. But while he burns it down, let's go and start our post-race show and give you the final results here today. McAnulty getting that final margin of victory, 4-4 over Winstead. Caleb Brown in third. The boss man, Al Corey, getting a top 5 with Herzog. The strategy call worked out. He gets a top 5. That was higher than he was prior. Nerney, Baxter, Kunman, Kress, and Matt Harmon rounding out the top 10.
What a busy race we had here today. Carl Gresh only finished 11th. Ben Harkham in 12th. We have Terry Brooks after that big drop, makes it back to 13th. And it's Adam Bossy, another spin that sent him back. Casey Ellis, Cameron Kane, James Honeycutt, Jason Benson, Mark Jarrell, and Jack Plyer make it to our top 20.
And Samson Lewis, he had a very rough day with Epting in 22nd. Dylan Freeman, 23rd. And then the rest of these drivers really didn't get to be on track for too long. Kyle Dean, Zach Armstrong, Ward Fisher, and then Coop and Tyler Ruelas did not actually take to the grid here today. But let's see who we got here in Victory Circle for interview availability here. We do have our race winner, Walker. I know we were all joking that maybe I commentator cursed you the other day. Didn't do it here for you today. I think we actually commentator cursed Terry for you. But you took advantage of it from the pole, getting the win. How you feeling, man?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good. This is my home track. I grew up at this place. I've watched my dad race here from whenever I was born. So, it's always special to be able to race here, and being able to win here is even better.
I know this track it doesn't exist in any capacity anymore. Has it hit the demolition yet? Or?
Well, it's a Copart now, so all of the stands, all of the buildings are gone. I think the front stretch might still be there. Everything else is just gone and full of cars.
Well, we were talking off air. It's strange that a car company would take away a racetrack, but that's a podcast topic. You get the win here. Obviously, now you get some sentimental to this, which is obviously good. You've been a really big staple, a really big player in all of these TBP races, doing well in Cup, doing well in ARCA. We take to Bristol week upcoming now. How do you take the confidence level and bring it there?
Well, short tracks are usually where I'm better, so I'm pretty happy with this going into Bristol. Hopefully I can just stay consistent and try to keep running up front, and that's all I can hope for.
And I'll tell you, we said your last name right, I think, every single time here today, so we finally got it ingrained, man. Doing that for you.
I'm so proud of you, Corey.
I know, it takes me sometimes. I didn't even have that 2-second loading time today. Got it right off the bat, so we got you, boss. But any final words before we let you go?
Thanks, everybody, for putting this on. Thanks to Terry Brooks. Unfortunate that he had that issue. I think he probably would have ran away with it from me, but appreciate him sponsoring the league and him putting this race in the calendar. And then everybody else that runs everything in TVP, as well as you up here in the booth. I really appreciate everything.
Absolutely, man. I'll try to see if maybe I can see you guys on the track Thursday for Xfinity, but go celebrate.
All right, thank you, man. Y'all have a good night.
Too. And now Howie gets the bridesmaid here on the day, Mr. Chad Winstead.
Chad, how do you pass someone around here? It is tough. You made out places. Didn't make the last one.
Yeah, definitely tough race. Be this close after a couple of weeks of bad luck stings a little bit, especially when I had the outside there. Just couldn't get the grip. It was very slippery out there, and obviously a pretty tough track to make moves on.
Actually getting laps around it. The cars are actually a lot looser than I expected on a toasty track. What is the experience of getting this ARCA car around there? It's quite uncommon that it really happens in iRacing.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit looser than normal. So a lot of off throttle, and you could really only go full throttle on the front stretch. So definitely didn't feel like the normal ARCA car. It felt more like a Xfinity car at this track.
Any other thank yous or shout outs after a tough and very tiring run?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to give out a shout out to Terry Brooks. I think he was going to wipe the field with us, but he had a hardware issue tonight. Concord's his local track, and I hated to see him go out like that and not be able to get back up front, because I don't think anybody could have touched him. But shout out to you guys for putting this on, and for any friends and family, my wife that's out there watching. Beth, if you're watching, I love you. Thanks for tuning in.
Good to see you get another good result. Still plenty more of the season to go, though. Hope you have fun.
Thank you.
Now we got third place here, Caleb Brown. Caleb, I falsely gave you credit for winning Sunday because my memory doesn't go that far. Of course, that wasn't the case, but you get yourself a podium here at the Concord Speedway. A little rough on the right rear quarter panel there. All in all, how do you summarize the event from that 17 perspective?
It was a lot of fun. Track's a little tricky. You can slide the rear end, which is refreshing in these cars, but a lot better than expected. Guys kept it clean.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of drivers were getting loose, and of course, I mean, it's very rare to have a 5-turn oval because that kink on the back stretch, actually is a legitimate turn. Where were you finding the easiest of all places to make moves here tonight?
It really just kind of came down to the restarts. By the time you got laps on the tires, the rears were just a little too slick to make anything stick, but if you could get up on the outside on the restarts, you could kind of fly by people.
Yeah, we saw that here today. Almost got Winstead the win, but not quite. But we take this to the Bristol Motor Speedway, both in the Cup and in the ARCA Series in this next coming week. How do you feel about Thunder Valley?
I absolutely love anything concrete. Bristol and Dover are my jam, so I'm super excited to go there.
All right, well, we'll have to bring a lot of jelly and perhaps some bread because that's going to be your jam, man. But go ahead and celebrate. Have a good, solid run, and we'll see you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
All right, well, that'll wrap things up, Howie. I'm not gonna lie, I'll admit on air, I said before the race, I'm scared, and I wasn't scared. They said they put on as good of a show as I think we could have expected, and I think they put on a better show than they expected as well, based on the Discord. But Howie
This is genuinely one of the ARCA leagues that I gotcha. It's one of the ARCA leagues that I think really understands the car because they get it's a very short track car that it runs these sorts of things, and as a result, they often get very, very good racing from people that like this style. Sometimes it's cars, speedways can be a bit of a drag, but no, there's always entertaining action out here.
Absolutely. First time we covered a race here, and it was definitely one worth watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow night with Elbows Out. I will be there for that, as Brad is still under the weather. Me and Patrick Reckes-Coleman will be there at Watkins Glen, and then I think me and Brad back at it. Howie, you get to go back to sleep at regular times, but I appreciate you filling in the gaps for us here as we're back next week. That is Corey and Howie signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.